What if I never heal? You have stopped letting yourself believe it will get better. Not because you gave up dramatically. Not because of one specific moment where you decided to stop hoping. It happened gradually, the way trust erodes when it's been disappointed enough times. You hoped, and the season didn't change. You believed it would pass, and it didn't. You told yourself it was temporary, and temporary kept extending until the word stopped meaning anything. And now you are in a different place than you were at the beginning of this. You are not actively hoping anymore. You are managing, surviving, getting through the days without expecting them to become something different. Because expecting things to become different has cost you too much. And underneath the managing, underneath the survival, is a question you've been careful not to look at too directly. What if I never heal? What if this is just what my life is? This reflection is going to look at that question directly, without flinching, and without offering you false hope, because you have had enough of that and it has not helped. What I want to offer instead is something more durable than optimism, something that holds even if the worst version of the question turns out to be true. The theology of the thorn, 2 Corinthians 12. Paul had something he called a thorn in the flesh. He never named it, and that is almost certainly intentional, because the unnamed thorn becomes every thorn. Your thorn, the specific, persistent, unresolved thing that you have asked God to remove and that has remained. Paul asked 3 times. Not once, not twice. 3 times he brought the specific request to God, and 3 times the answer was not yes. The answer was, "My grace is sufficient for you, for my power is made perfect in weakness." Not, "I will heal you soon." Not, "Hold on, it is coming." My grace is sufficient. Present tense. For this, for the thorn that is still there, for the weakness that is not being removed. Reformed theology does not promise physical or emotional healing in this life. It promises something harder and truer, the grace to bear what is not healed, the presence of God in what remains unresolved, the power of Christ made visible precisely in the places where human strength has run out. That is not a lesser promise. It is a deeper one. It is the promise that even if the answer to your question is yes, even if this is the shape of your life for a long time or forever, you will not be left to bear it alone. You will not be left without what you need to bear it, and what you bear will not be wasted. What chronic suffering produces? There are things that long, unresolved suffering produces that acute suffering cannot. Acute suffering, the kind with clear beginning and end, produces resilience, the knowledge that you can get through hard things, the confidence that comes from having survived something you weren't sure you would survive. But chronic suffering, the kind that stays, the kind without a clear timeline, the kind that becomes a background of your life rather than an interruption to it, produces something different, something rarer, a depth of compassion that can only come from having lived inside pain long enough to understand it from inside, a knowledge of God that is not theoretical but experiential, earned in the dark, over time, through the kind of sustained trust that fair-weather faith never develops. The people who have suffered longest and come through it, not healed necessarily, but through it, still here, still reaching, are often the ones who carry something in them that others recognize without being able to name. A quality of presence, a depth of understanding, a gentleness toward other people's pain that can only come from having been inside your own for a very long time. You are being formed into that person right now, in the not knowing, in the managing, in the survival that feels like nothing but is, from the outside, remarkable. What does healing actually mean? We have a very narrow definition of healing. We mean the symptoms go away, the depression lifts, the anxiety quiets, the circumstance changes, the body recovers, the relationship is restored. But Scripture has a broader vocabulary for healing than that. The Hebrew word shalom, translated as peace but meaning so much more, is wholeness, completeness, the state of being nothing missing, nothing broken. And shalom, in the biblical understanding, is not primarily a feeling or a set of circumstances. It is a relational reality. It is what exists when you are rightly related to God, to yourself, and to others, which means healing, in the deepest biblical sense, is not primarily about your symptoms. It is about your relationship to what you are carrying, whether you are carrying it alone or whether you are carrying it with God. whether it's producing bitterness or depth, whether it's pushing you away from him or pressing you toward him. You can be in the middle of unresolved suffering and be more healed, in the shalom sense, than someone whose circumstances are comfortable but whose soul is far from God. If this question has been sitting in you, what if I never heal, and you have never heard anyone talk about it honestly, hit the like button. This is a space for the real questions. And subscribe to Whisper Grace. New reflections every week for the ones who are still here, still asking, still reaching even without an answer. The saints who are not healed. Scripture does not hide the people who are not healed. It preserves them. Hebrews 11, the great chapter of faith, the Hall of Fame of the faithful, lists person after person who trusted God through impossible circumstances. And then it says something that is almost always skipped over in sermons. These were all commended for their faith, yet none of them received what had been promised. None of them. They trusted, they endured, they believed, and they did not receive what they were hoping for in this life. They died in faith, not having received the promises, but seeing them from a distance and welcoming them. Seeing them from a distance, welcoming them. This is not the language of people who gave up. It is a language of people who maintain hope across an entire lifetime without the resolution they were looking for, and whose faith, because of that, was counted as extraordinary. Your faith in a long, unresolved season is not lesser faith. It may be the most demanding form of it that exists. Paul's other statement, Romans 8 verse 18. I consider that our present sufferings are not worth comparing with the glory that will be revealed in us. Not worth comparing. That is an extraordinary claim when the suffering is real and long and has no visible end. And Paul is not making it glibly. He is making it having lived it, having been shipwrecked, imprisoned, beaten, left for dead, chronically afflicted. He is not speaking from comfort about someone else's pain. He is speaking from inside his own. And from inside it, he says, not worth comparing, which does not mean the suffering is small. It means the glory is that large. The way to what is coming, the restoration, the wholeness, the shalom that Scripture promises for people of God, is so disproportionately great that the suffering, in retrospect, will not be the defining feature of the story. You are not the sum of what you have not been healed from. You are the person God is preparing for something so much larger than this season, that this season, as long and as hard as it's been, will not be what you remember most. The promise that holds everything. Revelation 21 verse 4. He will wipe every tear from their eyes. There will be no more death or mourning or crying or pain, for the old order of things has passed away. Every tear, not most tears, not the tears that deserve to be wiped. Every one. This is a promise that holds everything else. The promise that what is unresolved now will be resolved. What is broken now will be made whole. What has been lost will be restored in ways that exceed what was lost. The suffering that has gone on longer than it should have, every day of it, every night of it, every moment of it that felt like too much, will be known, acknowledged, and answered, not ignored, not dismissed, answered. God does not forget what his people have carried. He keeps a record, and the restoration he has promised is not a vague general comfort. It is specific, personal, and commensurate with what was endured. Every tear, including the ones you cried alone in the dark when no one knew. He kept those too, for the one who has stopped hoping. You don't have to manufacture hope you don't have right now. Hope in the biblical sense is not optimism. It is not the feeling that things will probably get better. It is a confident expectation grounded in the character of God and the promises he has made. And that kind of hope does not require you to feel hopeful. It only requires you to hold on to what is true, even when it doesn't feel true. What is true? God has not abandoned you in this. What is true? Your suffering is not purposeless. What is true? There is an end to this that you cannot see from where you are standing. What is true? Every day you continue to reach, however weakly, however without feeling, has been seen and counted and will not be forgotten. You don't have to be healed to be held. You don't have to be better to be loved. You don't have to have an answer to the question to be safe in the hands of the one who does. Hold on, not because healing is definitely coming in the way you want it, but because the one who holds you is faithful. And faithfulness, his, not yours, is what this has always rested on. Before we close, if someone came to mind while you were listening, someone who has stopped letting themselves hope because hoping has cost them too much, send this to them. Just send it. No explanation needed. And subscribe to Whisper of Grace if you want to keep finding reflections like this one. Honest, unhurried, for the questions that don't have easy answers. Every week, for the ones who are still here. You are still here. That is not a small thing. In a season where stopping would have been understandable, where giving up would have made a certain kind of sense, you are still here, still reaching, still in it. God sees that. He has always seen that. And the one who began a good work in you will carry it on to completion. Not because you've been strong enough, but because he is faithful enough. You are still here, and that is where he is too, with grace. Whisper of Grace.